Hey, what's up guys? It's Wonder Librarian here, and I am super excited to be bringing you this video about BC Golden Boy and one of my personal favorite actors of all time, Michael J. Fox. And just in time for his birthday no less, and in the 35th anniversary year of Back to the Future, probably the thing he's best known for, and of course, my favorite trilogy of all time. That said, I did kind of a deep dive here, as once upon a time when I lived in Ontario, I did a Michael J. Fox tour of Toronto, documenting some filming locations from a very early film of his called Class of 1984, which, if you haven't seen it yet, is kind of a crazy ride, and MJF totally pops on screen, so I do recommend it. During that tour, I also pointed out some cool MJF landmarks that could also be seen around Toronto for anyone who wanted to visit. For this particular tour, since Michael spent a lot of his childhood here, I was able to piece together a bit of a Michael J. Fox tour of BC, based on interviews given by Michael himself, as well as my own personal research. So if you're a Back to the Future nut like me, and you enjoy a little bit of history, this is the video for you. A few of the places mentioned are now closed, but I'll talk briefly about them and tell you which places you can still see in real life. So come along with me as we go Back to the Future of Michael J. Fox. So Michael J. was born Michael Andrew Fox on June 9, 1961 in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, to mother Phyllis, who was an actress and payroll clerk, and William Fox, a police officer and Canadian Forces member. They did jump around and live in various Canadian cities due to his father's job. They finally moved to Burnaby, a large suburb of Vancouver, British Columbia, where his father retired in 1971. His first acting gig was a CBC show at the age of 15, before he moved to LA in 1979 at the age of 18 to pursue his dream of acting. I was able to locate his Burnaby apartment complex, which is the Middlegate apartment complex on Collier Street in Burnaby, shown here. It's a very modest place, and I was surprised to learn that there is an RCMP building very close by. Perhaps this is the reason for this particular apartment for their family. Next, I stopped at CG Brown's, which MJF mentions in an interview, and it's a simple, family-friendly recreation center that's about a 7-minute drive from his apartment complex. I can imagine that as a Canadian kid, this would likely be the hockey-playing destination, and it seems to be very much in operation today. Ryan Reynolds also fondly remembers his local recreation center in Vancouver, and I'll link to that other video that I did down below. Nowadays, MJF lives in New York with his wife Tracy Pollan and has 4 children, but holds a dual Canadian citizenship and maintains a good relationship with his childhood home of Burnaby. Approximately 8 minutes away in another direction from his apartment is the school MJF attended, which is Burnaby Secondary. I decided to take a jaunt up there and scope out the theater that is now named for him over there, which is of course the Michael J. Fox Theater. I have yet to see a production there, but hope to someday. I had a look at their schedule and found out that they host things like an annual Christmas show, film festivals, dance competitions, and more. A search of their website reveals that there is a plaque that says Michael J. Fox and Tracy Pollan, so I wonder if that is their reserved seating. That's pretty cool though. The Commodore Ballroom was also name-dropped by MJF in an interview, so I assume this famous rock venue was a favorite of teenage MJF during his time here. The venue was built in Art Deco 1920s style and is located on Granville Street. It could hold up to 990 guests and has a combination of floor and seating areas. There was shopping up top and a bowling alley and pool room downstairs. It first opened as the Commodore Cabaret in 1929, but closed shortly after because of the Great Depression. It did reopen in 1930 under new management, however. Sammy Davis Jr. played the Commodore in 1948, and other notable acts in the following decades included Duke Ellington and Tommy Dorsey. Around 1969, it became a rock and roll venue, and I would assume that's what teenage MJF got to experience. The Commodore itself closed in 1996, but after a $3.5 million renovation, including a new hardwood dance floor, it reopened under the House of Blues banner on November 12, 1999. Oh, November 12th, look at that date. That's funny. Among the venue's performers over the years were such acts as The Tragically Hip, James Brown, U2, Coldplay, Radiohead, Sting, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Weezer, The Police, Pearl Jam, Kiss, Tina Turner, the Beastie Boys, Nirvana, Kid Rock, Headley, Oasis, Dr. Dre, Katy Perry, Lady Gaga, and Metric. It still seems like one of the coolest places to see a concert and is a very intimate venue, so I'd love to see something there sometime too. The next couple entries on this tour will focus on the restaurants mentioned by Michael J. Fox, and I'll start with the historical one that's now closed. The other two mentioned you are still able to come in and enjoy something. The Cannery was mentioned by Michael J. Fox. Unfortunately, it closed in 2010, but operated for 39 years since 1971 on the shores of Vancouver. It was where fishermen brought their catch and is known as one of the best seafood venues in the world. One of the waitresses who had worked there since the 80s had seen numerous famous people who have come to dine at the iconic restaurant. She said on one occasion Bob Hope visited there and talked about how marvelous the restaurant was. Increasing construction restrictions on the port where the restaurant was located unfortunately forced them to close after the Olympics in 2010, and many Vancouverites were disappointed to lose such a restaurant icon. However, they reopened as the Pink Peppercorn Seafood House recently, and their iconic lobster bisque, salmon Wellington, and some of their beloved classic dishes are available there now. As a seafood lover myself, I'll be sure to make a stop there at some point. Another place on Michael J. Fox's list of faves in Vancouver is Mr. Mike's Steakhouse. I hadn't heard of this place before, but it's actually a chain that started on Vancouver's Granville Street in the 1960s. This makes sense for MJF's timeline. It started as an upscale steakhouse restaurant known for white tablecloths, upscale wine, and of course, steak. They've since rebranded their spaces as more family-friendly and casual and have grown up to 24 locations. They are sprinkled mostly throughout BC, but there's a couple in Alberta and Saskatchewan too. I'm going to leave this video with one of my personal favorite restaurants, and coincidentally one of Michael J. Fox's as well. The Old Spaghetti Factory was founded in Portland, Oregon on January 10, 1969, and has since become an international chain with locations in Canada, Australia, Japan, and Germany. The Italian classic entrees are tasty and affordable, and come with unlimited soup, salad, and spumoni ice cream for dessert. My boyfriend and I have been to the Gastown location in Vancouver, which was said to have opened in 1970. I did come across an article that claims that this location is haunted by a conductor ghost who hangs out inside the trolley in the restaurant, a small reddish man that likes to prank ladies in the washroom, a boy ghost named Edward, and an unidentified girl ghost who holds a balloon. I can't say I've seen any of these ghosts, but I can say that the food is great, the decor is eclectic, and you can walk out and see the famous steam clock of Gastown close by, as well as the Gassy Jack statue. Definitely recommend this one. And that is going to do it for the Michael J. Fox Tour Vancouver. Hope you've learned a thing or two and will consider some of these places on your next trip out here. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the future.